I guess I was surprised that it was the culinary, not the IRS, that shut them up.
No luck for the Horseshoe this time. The legendary hotel casino is forced to close its doors. Now former employees are looking for new work.
You're watching Southern Nevada's #1 choice for news. This is News 3 Nightside.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The front doors are locked and customers are being greeted by yellow crime tape at a landmark hotel casino.
Luck was not in the cards for Binion's Horseshoe this weekend. U.S. Marshals raided the 52-year-old casino looking to collect on a huge debt. News 3's Ann Lim is live tonight at Ogden and First Street. And Ann, about 1,000 employees are without jobs for now.
And Gerard, at this point, we don't know what's going to happen to the employees. Some of them worked there for more than 40 years. Now, you can see behind me the lights are off at the Horseshoe. Reports show the property owes about $3 million in pension and health benefits.
Binion's Horseshoe Casino has been known for its financial battles. Owner Benny Binion lost that battle Friday night.
You see what was a quality property going downhill, and it just takes a certain amount of time before, something had to give.
I thought it was crazy. I thought it was a joke at first, I didn't really think that they were shutting down the hotel like this.
Binion's is now closed. As many as 1,000 people unemployed. There was a sense of sadness in the downtown area. Many, including a shift manager from the California casino, say the Horseshoe is a legend.
Binion's used to be, and the downtown area used to be, the local casinos. There were no Stations casinos. There was no Sam's Town.
My understanding that Becky here didn't want to pay her damn bills, and now everybody else is suffering. It's like 1,500 employees, who are going to be out of jobs.
Hotel guests were asked to leave just hours after U.S. Marshals raided the casino for unpaid employee benefits. About 50 checked into the California hotel. Merrick used to work at Binion's and says no one likes to see a property closed down.
I feel terrible for the employees. I have a lot of friends over there. People that you meet over the years, and their life just got turned upside down. It's kind of like a miniature 9/11 to people.
Many are hopeful Binion's will eventually reopen. Some say it was only a matter of time before the casino's financial problems came crashing down.
And a lot of people in town for the CES convention were staying at Binion's. They say it was difficult trying to find a hotel on such short notice. In the meantime, Binion's gambling license has been suspended. It will be up to the Nevada gaming regulators to decide whether or not to reopen the casino. Reporting live, I'm Ann Lim. Gerard, back to the studio.
Okay, thank you very much, Ann. A lot of people caught in a quandary. If perhaps you need to collect your winnings from the Horseshoe, starting Monday, there is a number that you can call. It's 382-1600. State officials say Benny Binion has promised to honor all bets and jackpots won at the hotel casino.
The owner of Binion's Horseshoe closed its doors just as state gaming officials prepared to pull the plug. Today, the State Gaming Commission held an emergency meeting because there wasn't enough money left for the casino to pay off gambling wins. Marshals raided the casino to try and collect on about $2 million in debt owed to 2 different employee unions. But when it came to shutting down the gaming operations, Marshals didn't have to do much because the owner did it herself. Some on the commission say it's sad but a necessary move.
I'm very sorry from a personal standpoint to see this happen. My wife and I were married 32 years ago and spent our wedding night at the Horseshoe. So it's a very sentimental property, a property that we all hope can recover and rebound and again become a vibrant force in the gaming industry.
Gaming officials say Binion's Horseshoe can still reopen but would need to raise enough money to pay off debts first. In the downtown area, Binion's Horseshoe is one of the oldest casinos. It was originally called the El Dorado Club, but legendary casino mogul Benny Binion renamed the gambling hall the Horseshoe in 1951. In 1964, Binion renovated the building, adding its now classic neon facade. The first World Series of Poker took place in 1970, which began as a small tournament of elite players. Now it's become the premier advertisement for the casino. Benny Binion died in 1989, and that's when his 2 sons, Ted and Jack Binion, took over. Then in 1998, Benny Binion became the new owner of the Horseshoe.
The Nevada Supreme Court and its staff are mourning the death of Justice Myron Leavitt this weekend. In November, Leavitt underwent a kidney transplant at UMC. His son James donated his kidney for the transplant surgery. Leavitt's kidneys were failing mainly due to diabetes. Leavitt was elected to the Supreme Court in 1998 and was elected again to a 6-year term in 2000. Leavitt served on the Clark County Commission and Las Vegas City Council before winning election in 1978 as Nevada Lieutenant Governor. Leavitt leaves behind 11 children. He was 73 years old. Tonight, U.S. Representative John Porter expressed his sympathy upon hearing of Justice Leavitt's death. He said Justice Leavitt is the epitome of a public servant, serving 6 different elected offices throughout more than 4 decades. Justice Leavitt led by example and has left a positive and long-lasting legacy in Nevada. Leavitt will be laid to rest this Wednesday at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints on Gateway and Wyoming at noon. It is open to the public.
2 men connected to a drive-by shooting that killed a 13-year-old girl are now behind bars. North Las Vegas police say Todd Johnson is one of those men. He was arrested yesterday. Also rearrested was Robert Hayes. Hayes was already in jail for violating his probation. Police say Tanisha Turner was walking home near MLK and Lake Mead back in November when she was shot and killed by a stray bullet. Her mother, Trina Turner, got word of the arrest late yesterday and says her family is happy and relieved. Today, the family held a barbecue in Tanisha's memory on what would have been her 14th birthday.
This helping me in my way of getting over everything. My prayers was answered, that justice was taken care of in the right way.
North Las Vegas police tell us both Johnson and Hayes are somehow affiliated with gangs, and both may go before a judge for their preliminary hearing sometime next week.
Police are looking for answers tonight after a 29-year-old man was shot to death in West Las Vegas. The shooting happened just before 2 this morning at an apartment complex on West Tropicana near Fort Apache. Police say they found the man dead with a gunshot wound to the chest. Now, at this time, police have no suspects. If you have any information about this crime, you are urged to contact police. Las Vegas Boulevard was shut down for several hours after an officer-involved shooting in front of the Paris Hotel Casino. Police say it all began as a robbery and carjacking near Decatur and Charleston at around 2 o'clock this morning. It ended on Las Vegas Boulevard after a car chase. Police say the 24-year-old suspect, Keenan Babcock, went from the stolen car into a cab, and that ended up crashing at that intersection. Police say Babcock got out of the cab and fired at police, hitting one officer in the leg, but the officer did fire back, hitting Babcock in the face. Both the officer and the suspect were taken to UMC. Police say the suspect will be booked on at least 1 count of attempted murder of a police officer.
California state game officials say they're fairly confident they have the mountain lion that attacked 2 people and left 1 dead. It'll take more lab work to be sure, but authorities say they'll be surprised if their cat isn't the same mountain lion that twice attacked bicycle riders. A 35-year-old man died in one of those attacks. A 30-year-old woman was the other victim and is recovering in the hospital. Officials say they're surprised by the attack because the animals usually shy away from humans, especially men. The mountain lion has been protected by California law since 1990. It's been a decade since the last fatal attack.
The Binion family has seen a lot of triumph and tragedy since the family moved to Vegas from Texas back in the 40s.
From the opening of the Horseshoe to the loss of family members, the Binions grew up learning to work together.
It was almost like the family grocery store. I mean, we all went down there, we all worked, we all did our little things.
Coming up, a look back at the history of this legendary family.
And he was married to Britney only 55 hours. Now he may rake in the big bucks. What kind of deals Britney's hometown friend is being offered now? Coming up on News 3, where news comes first.
The Horseshoe Casino is and was the pinnacle of a legendary gaming family's success.
Mogul Benny Binion and his kids are considered to be one of the first families of Las Vegas, but like any other family of larger-than-life characters, their story is also complicated with triumph and tragedy.
Certainly is. A couple of years ago, News 3's Jim Snyder spoke exclusively to Benny Binion's daughter, Becky, about life at the old family compound on Bonanza Road. She gave him some insight to what it was like growing up as a Binion.
Gosh, this really changed a lot.
She's taking us along on a trip back home.
It would be one of the oldest houses in Las Vegas.
To where it all started.
A lot of good memories in this house.
For a walk down memory lane.
We had a lot of fun times here.
Her last name is Binion now, but she grew up as Benny Binion, the youngest daughter of one of the most colorful and controversial characters from Old Vegas, Benny Binion.
I am a gambler.
That got him in some trouble in Texas. Gambling isn't legal there, so with police on his heels, he loaded up his wife, 5 kids, and a pile of cash, left the Lone Star State, and came to a place where he could gamble, Las Vegas.
I couldn't stay nowhere else but Las Vegas.
Why?
They're too damn dead.
There was nothing boring about those early years in the casino business. Once, Benny actually rolled dice with his partner to see who would keep the casino they owned together. Benny lost and opened the Horseshoe across the street. The house has been abandoned since 1974 when Becky got married. With her kids all gone, her mom and dad moved out that very day, even left dishes behind in the dishwasher.
Oh my gosh, here's some of my dolls, my old dolls. Nick the Greek gave me this doll. This is old. This is the dress I wore to like the junior prom in high school.
The place is covered with memories, old photos, greeting cards, and of course, playing cards.
Dad taught you all about the games?
Well, this is roulette layout.
It is also filled with history lessons. This damage is from a suspicious fire back in 1990 when there was big labor trouble at the Horseshoe.
How painful it was for my mother and how much it hurt her to see things that she recognized being thrown out the door.
Even when there was trouble at the casino, Becky says you'd never know it around this house.
The main thing I remember is standing here and doing ballet exercises from that mirror. Typical American family.
Well, not quite typical. Growing up as a Binion meant star treatment in what was still a small, close-knit town. In these home movies, the kids are hanging out at a friend's pool, Bugsy Siegel's pool at the brand new Flamingo. The movies show happy kids who seem to live on horseback. The cops took Benny Binion out of Texas, but they never took the Texas out of Benny Binion. And the cowboy way has always been the family style.
I think the biggest thing about my father is his total confidence. He knew exactly who he was and never tried to be anything but who he was. And I think the point that he was always himself was the charm.
Jim Snyder, News 3.
Interesting story. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 11 for more on what it was like growing up as a Binion. We're going to show you more of those clips that we just showed you of one of Las Vegas's oldest families.
The Mars rover is ready to roll onto the red planet.
So it now stands full height, and all 6 wheels are in their final position and ready to drive onto the surface of Mars. So it's a very big day for the Spirit rover.
Scientists say it may roll onto the Martian surface Tuesday in search of water. However, there's a problem. The airbags are blocking the main deployment ramp. Instead, the rover will make a 120-degree turn and use an alternate, more risky route. I love seeing those pictures.
Yeah, so far so good. And seeing the pictures of the red planet, and
so cool.
you know, it is. I saw a political cartoon in the newspaper that showed Mars on one side and then the Las Vegas desert in the drought on the other, and it wasn't too dissimilar.
Oh, man.
But you know, it was just about a perfect winter day today here in the valley.
Oh, it's great. Those CES guys are going to be reluctant to go home after this weekend with this nice weather.
Like you mentioned earlier, this is Chamber of Commerce weather.
It is Chamber of Commerce weather. Let's pop you outside. I want to show you a time lapse from earlier on this evening. You see that bright, shiny object there at the bottom of the screen? Well, that's the moon, and we're going to put this into motion and watch the moon rise. And then I also want you to watch here on the horizon. You could see some ghost-like figures of those clouds. So we did have a few clouds outside there this evening, and then the tour helicopters making their way through the valley tonight, carrying probably some of those CSI guys tonight. 47 degrees currently outside. Winds are fairly light at 5 miles per hour, and the barometer is holding steady at 30.11 inches of mercury. Let's show you one of our Wells Fargo WeatherNet stations from around the valley. Lakes east at Sahara and Cimarron. They have a current temperature of 48 degrees there. And today, officially at the airport, we got up to 64, which is 8 degrees above average. So, folks, every January 10th day is not exactly like this. A little bit warmer than usual, but not quite to the record of 69 set back in 1996. Here are the current temperatures now from around southern Nevada. Pahrump checking in at 45 degrees, Overton at 46, Mesquite also at 45 degrees, Lake Mead and Laughlin at 50 degrees. Very clear skies over the top of us right now because of a dome of high pressure. We do have some systems coming in for the Pacific Ocean, but all that energy is pushed to the north and the west of us. So any showers are isolated to the northwest, Oregon, Washington, Northern California, but we're not seeing anything here because of that big H, which should hang on here, it looks like, for the next several days, probably for the next week. Not much in the way of showers nationally. Pretty good day for your Sunday, but very, very cold up there in the Northeast in Foxborough, Massachusetts, where they had the big playoff game tonight. Game time temperature of 3 degrees, minus 12 on the wind chill. Mount Charleston looking for a high of 52 tomorrow. Great day to ski Lee, and then come down to the lake and do a little boating where they're going to have a high of 70 degrees at Lake Mead. Tonight here in the valley, partly cloudy, 41. Tomorrow a little bit warmer than it was today, we think. 65 under partly cloudy conditions. And your 5-day forecast, more of the same. And when I say more of the same, I mean it. Highs staying right there in the mid-60s for the next 5 days, and partly cloudy conditions. I think mostly sunny more than anything else. No precip.
Excellent.
Perfect.
And more of the same is welcome when it's 65.
Yeah, when it's minus 13, you don't want to hear more of the same.
Right. Like
All right.
this, we'll take it.
We'll
You
take
bet.
it.
Thanks, Dana.
Well, boy, how time flies. It's been a
Absolutely.
whole week since Britney Spears got married to her childhood friend.
That's right. Why her I don't may have her ex saying I do to some big money offers. Plus,
He may be a heartbroken hubby, but he could cash in big on his quickie marriage. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but when the picture is of Britney Spears on her wedding night, it's worth a whole lot more than that. The guy that took photos of Spears and Jason Alexander the night of their nuptials was paid $100,000 for one picture and possibly another $100 grand for a second photo. Meanwhile, Alexander has signed on with a high-powered PR firm to handle any offers that might come his way. Access Hollywood says Alexander has been offered $1 million for a video of the happy couple saying their I do's. But for now, the 22-year-old is back to the books. He's a junior at Southeastern Louisiana University.
see, it was applied.
But Gerard, look, she is free again, so that's good news.
She's free and he's a millionaire. Everybody wins.
Everyone wins,
right?
and again, I'm saying she's free because...
Oh, well,
there you go.
there you go. Britney and $1 million. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Thank you. Up next in sports, Rick Strasser is going to show us if the Wranglers could bounce back from last night's rare home loss.
Plus, a battle in the elements in the NFL. Playoff highlights are coming up next in sports, so stay with us.
Reed gets ball coming to protect.
Welcome back. There's playing in the cold, then there was the game in Foxborough tonight. Game time temperature of the Patriots divisional matchup with the Titans, 2. Yeah, 2. That's not just cold, that's I've got no feeling in my extremities. The Gatorade freezes before it hits my mouth. The ball's as hard as a rock, and the runnings out of my nose have hardened to pure ice cold. 2 degrees. No, Steve McNair's head isn't on fire. It's 2 degrees. Patriots get on the board first. Tom Brady, who hasn't been picked at home all year, finds Bethel Johnson for the 41-yard touchdown pass, 7-0. Late in the third, same margin as the Pats lead 14-7. McNair finds Derek Mason in the flat. Nice move to get loose. He dives up and over the pylon. It's ruled a touchdown, 14-all. After an Adam Vinatieri field goal at 17-14, final 2 minutes. 4th and long for the Titans. McNair unloads. Drew Bennett made 2 spectacular catches on the drive. Not there. That's all she wrote. Patriots win 17-14. They will host the AFC Championship game next week. 2 degrees. In the NFC, the Rams came in with their divisional game with Carolina, winners of 14 straight at home. After 2 St. Louis field goals, this goofy play, Jake Delhomme's pitch is swatted. The pig is loose and bouncing. There's a scrum for the ball at the goal line before the Panthers finally come up with it. It's a touchdown. Carolina led 23-12. Inside of 3 minutes, the Rams not giving up. Marshall Faulk goes in for the score. A 2-point conversion followed. An onside kick followed. So Jeff Wilkins, who incidentally recovered the onsider, can send the game to overtime. He does. Tied at 23 in the OT. John Casey lining up for the game winner from 40 yards out. It's straight, it's true, it's good. The Panthers win the game. Upe, not quite. There's a penalty on the carpet for delay of game. Casey missed the next attempt. Now, the Rams' turn. Wilkins set, He sent it to overtime. He could send it to the AMC title game. 53 yards. No. Came up short. So, for just the 5th time in history, a 2-overtime playoff game. First play of OT2. Jake Delhomme to former Utah Ute Steve Smith. Uh-oh. Smith is loose and gone. He runs right into the NFC Championship game. The Panthers win 29-23. They will play Green Bay or Philadelphia for a trip to the Super Bowl. The annual East-West Shrine game had a UNLV field today. John Robinson led the West squad. He had a familiar name to call, senior running back Larry Kroom. He dives in here in the first quarter for the first score of the game. Kroom, he was not done yet. Later, second quarter, tied at 7. Kroom, he goes wide for another 1-yard touchdown. He led all rushers with 9 carries, 63 yards, had a 14-yard pass catch as well, and those 2 scores. Story of the game, though, was this guy, Neil Perry of San Jose State. 3 years ago, he had part of his leg amputated. Today, he played again. And here he made his first tackle since the amputation. Great story. Coach Robinson leads the West to victory, 28-7, the final. More good news for UNLV football team. A Review Journal report says junior All-American Jamal Brimmer will return for his senior season with the Rebels and let his NFL dreams wait just 1 more year. The Durango High School grad was the first non-punter named All-American from UNLV since the school jumped to Division I. This season, Bremer led the Mountain West with 6 interceptions. He had 77 tackles, 4 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries, and 3 quarterback sacks. Last night marked the midway point of the Wranglers' inaugural season. Despite the loss to Peoria, Las Vegas is in the lead in the Pacific Division and are 15-2-1 at the Orleans Arena. I'd say it's a pretty successful first half of the season, wouldn't you? Tonight at the Big O, the start of the second half. Wrangles still a bit miffed from last night. Good first period. Brian Christie gets the rebound goal, 2-1. Good guys after 1. But another bad night from Mark Magliarditi. Gave up 6 goals on 46 shots. Las Vegas drops the 2nd straight at home, 6-2 the final score. From the hard water to the hardwood, 4th-ranked Stanford at number 3, Arizona. We're not going to see it.
Oh, well.
Stanford won.
All right.
That's what we need to know. Fair enough.
That is the good stuff.
That's going to do it for us tonight. Saturday Night Live is next.
And Jennifer Aniston is hosting, so you'll want to watch.
Tune in for that. We'll see you back tomorrow. Have a good night.
Bye.